Are you more confident in who will go number one or who will go number three?
Well, I think at number three, I'm still debating this through my mock draft. So he's either going to be two or he's going to be three for me. And that's Caleb Desnoyers at Moncton. And I think I
Okay.
probably have him higher rated than most. But I think the world of this guy. Darren, he's this guy he's already 6'2", he's 185, 86 pounds, but he's got big hands. When you get a puppy and you're like, oh, that dog's going to be huge. Big hands and big feet. And so that's Desnoyers to a T. But he already has everything in place in terms of his skill. 30 points in the Q playoffs playing with a wrist injury. Wasn't great at the Memorial Cup. I think the wrist thing, started to flare up once again. But he's been a leader in just about every team he's been on. He's got size. He's got skill. He can check. He can win faceoffs. He does everything that the game has to offer. And if you want to play it a certain way where it's going to get into the weeds one night, he'll get into the weeds. If you want to play a high-flying run and gun skill game, no problem playing that game. You need a matchup game. You need a little esoteric and an old-school style matchup. You're going to get that from Desnoyers. And I think the fact that he's able to do all of those things and do all of them really well puts him as a guy that I'm going to have two or three. So that certainty for me is not as much at this second as we stand here, recording right now. But I feel very strongly, and for sure, Desnoyers will be two or three on my mock draft coming up.
How many kids from this draft, and this is a question owners ask, can he play for us next year? And how many kids in this draft play next year?
I don't think anyone plays regularly next year. I think
so. In other words, they're going to get the 10-game tryout, and then we'll figure out whether they go back to junior or college.
Yeah, or maybe whatever. The Draisaitl 37-game thing that he had.
That was an outlier. That was an outlier. That was an outlier.
No, for sure. But I do think it's a possibility here because if I look at Matthew Schaefer, right, he hasn't played enough games, but he's liable to walk into a camp and Islanders camp, and they're going to look at him and say, oh my gosh, like we're going to give this guy a taste. We're going to give him a little rope. And he's the type of guy that might say, okay, you give me that rope. I'm not giving it back now, guys. And then you might get into a situation where, you start thinking about the past a little bit, and then you start to realize that this is your job and you got to get up and do it every day. He's a guy that I could actually see going down that Draisaitl path, as rare as it is. But in terms of regular players out of this draft class that will play next year, I don't think there is one of them.